and I think they are trying to connect now.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And I feel sorry. I have to say sorry for sometimes communication makes me nervous when I try to connect to the other side, and
I know. I
I'm
know.
sorry for that.
Oh no, that's okay. It is it's kind of hard
Yes.
sometimes to get everything coordinated. You know, it's not
Yeah.
it's not easy. I have the
Yeah. Exactly.
that's the working more. I've been having to work more with Zoom to meet with
Yeah.
people because with COVID some people don't want to come in and meet. So we have to
Yeah.
do things on Zoom, and some people like to come in. They don't want to be on Zoom. So what I have to do is have some sort of combination where I have people with me and then Zoom, but then I have to work out microphones and all that stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
not easy. It's not easy.
No, not. And one thing I realize is that at a time like now in Kenya what do they call? We are at the havocs of politics.
Yeah.
And sometimes the government try to regulate whatever communication being done by people in the country. And that's why I was just afraid. I didn't know whether if I just try to connect from my side, whether it will be okay.
Oh, I see.
But
Yeah.
all the same, I think, yeah.
I had not considered that, but yeah, that's more of a concern these days, isn't it?
Pardon?
I said I hadn't considered that, but that can be a concern these days. And
yeah, Kenya is in people are in a tension, kind of.
Yeah.
We will be experiencing something we've never experienced before, because it's like people want change.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know. The leaders who have been leading, it's like they feel like no, life has been okay. We've led you well, but there are people, majority of the Kenyans, who feel like no, this is not the kind of Kenya we've been wanting.
Right.
And it's like now they want to see new leadership, but the holding guys, they want to retain the power.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it will go, but we are just watching to see what would unfold.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
So did you manage to pick the family? I hired you.
No, I hadn't. So I hadn't had a chance to do that yet. I have to take a look at that and see. What I was thinking, would it be easier if we just sent money to your organization and then you decide where you want to use it?
That would be very okay. And what I'm preparing people to do and to see justice, because we want to operate differently, is once you say once it is used, we just report to you how we spend the money, where exactly it has gone.
Great.
And for now, my concern is the students who are in school.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'd like to do is have you decide what to do with the money that we send you, wherever you need it the most. It's not a lot. We have $1,000 for the budget, but then I'd like to, over time, work on ways to give people an opportunity to help individually too, not just through the church.
Yes.
They want to sponsor and things like that. So do you have promotional material that I can forward on to them? I know you emailed me some information about your organization.
Promotional material, like,
yeah, like I don't know, a lot of like brochures, like a lot of times something that shows like what people, you emailed me some good information, and I think that I could give that over, but I was just wondering if you had, like little handouts, brochure, pamphlets, things like that you give people to raise money.
We only have the the minutes and informations like the one I send you.
Yes.
But we can as well, we can put them in form of a pamphlet. If,
yeah.
If that would be okay.
Well, I think
we can condense the work.
Yeah, because it'd be nice. I could put them in the church too, and direct people to take one with them when they go.
We will.
They can look through.
I think we will do that.
Yeah.
We'll try to condense put the information in form of a small pamphlet, or I know there's a way we used to do it. We used to elsewhere. We used to have to put information in a kind of 2-3 page magazine. Was it magazine? Just something looking good. Just to make it, to decorate our information, and then send it with the pictures and what have you.
Great, and I could take it down to copy it. Over at you get a color copy and then put out copies of it too.
Right.
We have a Kinko's or
right. So
Office Max.
So exactly, yes, we will do that.
Okay, that'd be good. Yes, I think that would help a lot. And in the meantime, I'm going to take what you have and meet with the finance committee and say this is where we'd like to put the mission we have in ministry missions this year. Yeah, and John, is it possible that we have your number? If we can have your number, we can. I've decided that we've opened a kind of forum, WhatsApp forum, whereby I'm just thinking of whether we can have another a better forum whereby because Facebook is okay, but it's like somehow it's limited. Some people don't want to be in the Facebook. They find it easy to be in the WhatsApp. Sure. But even WhatsApp, I see it not that much. WhatsApp is still limited, but meanwhile we can use it. We can be using it. Sure. Yeah, I have that. I'll send you my telephone number for that. Yeah. You can be seeing all the conversations we are making because we want to have a forum where all of us are participating. Bring that up here. Send that over to you. There it is. Okay. Well, let me send you my telephone number. I'll just send it right now through Facebook Messenger. And then you can reach me through WhatsApp on that number. Okay. So, let me bring it up here and see if I can find you on here. What's that? Yeah, that's, I think if you just dial, what is our country code? 01. That'd be 01714 11714. I think it's what it is. Yeah. 714-743-9446. Okay. I'll send that. Hold on. That's right. Bruce, you're welcome. I can see you. Pardon? I'm inviting Bruce. He's opening. I don't know. He has muted. Let me wait until he's trying to get in. Okay. Yeah. So you have sent already? Somebody chatted. Oh, okay. I see Bruce sent a text. My audio is not clear, but I am working on it. Yeah. It's not clear. He has put off the audio and also the camera. Yeah. And let me write to him so that he can unmute. It took me a while to get used to. Well, with Zoom, you can it has a lot of options. You can jump and use different audio and video cameras. And sometimes it comes up on the wrong audio, like a Bluetooth speaker or something like that. And same thing with the video. If I use a different camera, it keeps trying to come up on that camera, even though I'm not connected to it. So I have to go in and change it.
That's true. I hope we will get that. Yes, I think I will add you in that forum.
Yeah, that might, if that's easier, that'd be great. WhatsApp works great. And I can use that for
yeah. So 3 places. If you may have a chance to come to Kenya, I may want to take you. One place would be Mombasa. Apart from the town, would be just in the interior the place we are talking. We are saying that the church has not reached and it has not been developed. People have not been witnessed. Apart from now, the life in the coastal region of Kenya, that is the coastal region of Kenya, that is in Mombasa. We have Mombasa. We have about 4 main counties. We have Kwale County, which is also part of the coastal line, and we have the highland itself, the Mombasa Highland, which is the oldest. We can say it is the one which has the I think other counties have grown from Mombasa. We have Kwale, Mombasa, we have Kilifi County, and then we have Lamu County. All these counties are along the Indian Ocean. And the Methodist Church, for instance, has only reached within the main town, but they could not just penetrate interiorly. But we picked only one place because we want to go one place at a time. We picked a place called Samburu in Kwale. Samburu in Kwale.
Samburu, and what? Is Samburu?
It's Samburu.
Okay, got it.
I will ask him, Bruce, to describe Samburu a little bit. He comes from Samburu.
Okay.
He comes from Samburu. But I don't know what is wrong with him. I don't know whether, let me try to call him and see whether he is.
Okay, sure.
Try to. Is going, but he is not receiving it. Maybe he is having some difficulties in receiving the phone when he is trying to access the Zoom.
Yeah.
So that is the one place along the coastal region. Then we have now the interior, where now I am. I'm just within the very, very interior, just between the coast of Kenya and the highland of Kenya. It's between Mombasa now, the coastal city, and Nairobi.
So where are you at?
I'm in a region called Kitui, Kitui County.
Okay.
In the map, you can just locate Kitui. It used to be Kitui district, but now we came up with a new naming. It is Kitui County now.
I think I might order a map of Kenya and then put it on a map. When I talk, I'll show people the.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to I could bring it up on the internet, but it'd be nice to have like a map with the pins over your.
Yeah. And Reverend, we have Mr. Lucas Mutua. Lucas Mutua joined us the other day. He is he is a member of a church where one of our team pastors called Pastor Peter Macau.
Mm-hmm.
So Lucas, welcome. Lucas, I can see you. He seemed to be writing something. I don't know why. Lucas, do you hear me? Unmute, 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 unmute.
Yes, I can get you very well.
Hi.
Oh, okay, fine.
Hi, Mr. Kitonga.
Fine. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Reverend.
Yes. So I hope Macau got the message.
Yeah, I have forwarded him the Zoom recording, the Zoom thing.
Okay.
The Zoom link.
Okay.
So he's about to get in the meeting right now.
Yeah, because it's the hate. Thank you. So welcome. And you know, you're talking to Frederick, and
yes.
We have our brother John Krewe.
Yes.
Hi.
And John Krewe, the person I'm speaking to is Lucas Mutua.
Hello, Lucas.
Yes. So Lucas, you can just speak a little bit with John as we wait others. I'm trying to find out what happened to Bruce Kadungo. But so Lucas.
Uh-oh.
Something is wrong. I don't know, something wrong with Lucas.
Oh, there he is. Hello.
Lucas, we thought we missed you. Oh, okay, I'm just telling you.
Yes.
As we wait others, you can introduce yourself to Reverend John Krewe.
Yes.
And John, we want to know exactly where you come from and which church you are a member of, what church? Yes. And how you relate with the Peter Macau. Yeah, and how you relate with us.
Yes, I'm Lucas Mutua.
Yeah.
And I am the Secretary General of Methodist Church in Kamulu.
Kamulu Methodist Church.
Kamulu.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Kamulu. Where is Kamulu? If you are to tell me, if you are to direct me, give me direction of Kamulu when I'm as far as German, how will I locate Kamulu?
Kamulu, if you are in a German,
yeah,
Kamulu is after JKIA Airport. 30 kilometers from east of
Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
Okay.
Right? Lucas, go ahead.
It is 30 kilometers east of Nairobi.
East of Nairobi, okay.
Yeah, it is in Nairobi, Kamulu.
Reverend John, Kamulu Church, Methodist Church, is not far from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. It's just within, it is just at the outskirts of. It's not far from the airport.
Okay.
He is a member. Lucas is a member of a church started by Peter Macau, who is joining us.
Great.
Yeah. So, Lucas, I interrupted you. You can continue now.
Oh, he froze. Hello.
Yes.
Lucas, you can continue.
From JK is not just far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are here to liberate the problems about the Methodist church that is facing mostly on my region.
Yeah.
And the first issue is the governance.
Yeah. Just for now, we will be coming to that. Just for now, and we will be coming for that. For now, just give us the general information. Give us the picture. Paint a picture to us about where you come from. Paint a picture about the church, about even the community. Are you multicultural? Are you diverse?
Oh, no? You want me to talk about my own region?
Yes.
Yeah.
that is a point that I missed. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
My region is a very well placed.
Yeah.
Okay, if Reverend John can understand of it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of tribes in my region. Yeah. Because I'm located in a metropolitan area.
Yeah.
40 to 50 membership. My church is about 40 to 50 people.
Yeah.
We cannot, they are mix of tribes. We can talk about many tribes in my church.
Yeah.
So from people from different identities of language, of thinking, of cultural grown-ups.
Yeah.
And we are tapped of current development in our church.
So if I may ask, because I know John would want to ask, John, I'm asking because I know you would ask, so I can just I can just hold so that you ask question, but maybe I'm trying to have in a way that you may get some, you may get the right questions for Lucas, because Lucas is coming from one of that two tribes we are having in Kenya, and I expect him to tell us that he is one of I expect him to tell us which ethnic community he comes from, and his church is a mixture of which ethnic people. Is it Kambas, Kikuyus, Jaluos? I also expect him to tell us about the geography of that place, Lucas.
I get you very well.
Okay.
I am a Kamba personally. I am Lucas Mule Mutua. Born a Kamba, okay. Mother a Kamba. I'm totally a Kamba. And my region is it's almost a Kikuyu area, not mostly the campus. So I'm in a region where Kikuyus are so much more than their campus people.
Yeah.
So I grew the church in a Kamba area, in a Kikuyu area while I am a Kamba.
Yeah.
The So, John.
Yes.
Reverend.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is.
Okay. I'm sorry. I hear you.
That our church comprises of several tribes from Kenya. And we have an approximate population of about 40 to 50 congregants.
Yeah.
We are a pretty new church, basically.
Yeah. So you are a new church of how many members? John is about to ask.
Well, you said 40 to 50, but I'm wondering how long has the church been around? How long have you been there?
All right. Now I'm saying, so basically we are part of the victims. We are victims of the current developments in our church.
What development, Lucas? Try to explain.
Developments are in the administration aspect of the Methodist Church in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically we are victims that we have been sidelined for quite some time.
Okay.
And now I thank you for joining this meeting, because I think we are here to find solutions.
Okay.
Exactly, so that we can see how better we can better the Methodist Church generally in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah, so exactly, I want to say that basically that is my introduction.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Lucas. So you are a new church startup, right? You haven't been around that long. Yeah.
Exactly.
How long has the church been in operation?
Okay, we've been operating about now. This is we are heading to our third year. We have been there for about 2 years now.
2 years, okay, fairly new.
Yeah, so we are heading to our third year.
And you're having trouble getting support from your local Methodist administration.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got it.
That's the point now. Yeah.
Fred, you were sharing that there was some issue right now. There's some changes going on within the Methodist Church.
Yeah. So before we get into that, John.
Yes.
I wanted to let you know that Lucas is from the Akamba people. I'm from the Akamba people. We have over 32 ethnic communities.
Right.
So that church Lucas comes from is within the Kamba region, and but because it is within a multicultural city, so we expect the members to be a mixture of different ethnic communities.
That's true.
And then the other thing he was trying to tell you was that the church started the other day. It was started by one of our friend who I hope you will get in the you will manage to Reverend Macau.
Okay.
So that church is new.
Yes.
That's
and now,
yes.
To the point now you had asked me.
Yes.
I remember telling you that the Methodist Church in Kenya, because of some I don't want to call them misunderstanding, but I better call them church growth.
Yeah.
As a result of church growth, the church has divided into 3 groups.
Oh, wow. 3 groups.
And then the challenge we are having now is that we do not have, like, if I want to see a presiding bishop, I can't see who is now the head of the church. If, like, I want a letter by the head of the church or whatever, I can't, because the division was not that healthy. It was as a result of some leaders wanting to remain as central governance, leaders by central governance of the church. But others feeling that, another group feeling that since the white missionary gave the mantle to the black leadership, the black leaders have not gone any far. They've just been circumventing within one region, depending on who are in the leadership. Like, I've said that we have over 32 ethnic communities. Like, if the leaders who are in the leadership are from one ethnic group, they would want now to send a mission and development in that ethnic group, and it is only that region, you've heard of the Marians, is only in that region you find the development of the church flourishing. In other regions, there is no development, there is no mission for those years, and then that has meant the church, that has not meant the church look good. So some people now, having seen that, they would say now, why, for all these years, we've been drawing resources together to a central office called Methodist Conference, but when it comes to distribution of these resources in terms of development, the resources go only to one region. Now they say, we are not going to continue this, we have to devolve. So there is that group calling for devolution, but there is another group now where we are, where you can find us. I call it the third way group. The third way group. Now I'm telling my friends that when Jesus came and he found the church, he found that his religion, which we would term as his church by then, the Jewish religion, had a kind of problem. He did not ask for, he did not emphasize on the central governance or devolution, but he emphasized on the reforms, revival, renewal, people transforming themselves and changing now to the life of salvation and a life of reaching others, loving others, embracing others. Now, I'm telling them that I just don't think that going by the way of central governance is right, or the way of devolution is right. People asking for devolution, they have the right because it is something which can be seen by any person and Christian that for many years, the Methodist Church has centered its mission and development in one area. That's okay, but even though, if we get devolved, but at the same time, if what was wrong with the central government was corruption, and now the devolved government is still corrupt, it is like instead of devolving functions to the grassroots, it's like devolving corruption to the grassroots. That's unless the devolved government now embraces reforms.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thank you for that description, Fred. I think especially when you were talking about being a part of a group that wants to focus on spreading the gospel and doing, because we have similar situation here with our church here, and I feel the same way. I don't want to take, I mean, either side, I think it takes us away from our focus on the gospel. And I think breaking up the church distracts and causes more turmoil. And so we don't really talk, we're fortunate because we're kind of removed from the rest of our conference.
Yeah.
So, we don't hear what's going on. We're kind of a remote area in our conference, on an island with only 3 other Methodist churches.
Right.
And so I understand, and I think we are, what I like is I think we have that similar, same direction. Commonality. And I think that would be that's a great way to tell our church, talk to our church and say, look, we want to support these brothers and sisters in Kenya because they're doing the same work, and you're working in areas that are underserved by the church. You've gone out into areas that the Methodist church has not really traditionally gone out into before, and you're doing it with your own support and support of people around you. So thank you. I think it's a very inspiring story to share. Yeah, and that is not the only dividing factor. Mm-hmm. As I might have shared with you before, there is another factor, this of embrace, that is welcoming, whereby we are not an exception. We also have people who I don't know the best way to describe it, but who are different, sexually different. Yeah. But it was a surprise thing to see one of the leaders belonging to the central governors having a press and saying, well, we are not going to go by the British way, because British Methodists, they accepted this way, which we condemn. So then in that, I also see another spirit. I also see other people saying, no, but here in Kenya, we quote the verse whereby Jesus found, when Jesus found the woman red-handed, but it was not only the woman, it was the woman and the man, but we focus on the woman. Yeah. So we base on there, and we look at what Jesus did to the woman. Jesus was the woman. He praised the woman. He did not chase or try to do what the Jews were doing, stone the woman or whatever. And I think nobody knows. He could as well ask where the man was, or something like that. Yeah. So. Some of us, we try to look at, we try to let love guide us, and also we try to look at what really put people in the situation they are in, because most people, like myself, I am in the understanding that most people did not find themselves where they are in. Yeah, that's true. And the best thing is to love them and just show them the love of God. If there is change, they will be changed by Christ. They will be changed by the love of Christ. So I'm seeing another dividing factor coming. Yeah. So if you can allow me, please. Please do. Yes, please, Lucas. All right, thank you. Now I wanted to put things plainly to Reverend John so that he can hear the situation that exactly we are in. Please go ahead. And maybe we can help each other to find the amicable solutions that are good for the progress of Methodist Church in Kenya. Go ahead. So basically, welcome. Yeah, Jen Kijuru, you are welcome. Reverend, you are welcome. How? So can I go ahead? Yes, please. Yeah, please go ahead. I've seen a simple interruption by Reverend McCown trying to join. Yeah, he will join. He will join. If he has trouble, you call me. Yeah. Now exactly. I wanted to put it to John that in Kenya,
we have about 42 tribes, basically. And you find that there is one community named the Meru community. One of the, not exactly major, I don't want to say it is one of the major communities in Kenya, but it is one of a substantial population, especially in the east of Mount Kenya. I don't know why, but majority of the people in the administrative positions come basically from the Meru community. You find that the bishop is from the Meru community, and most of his entourage are basically from the same community. So you find that in the administration of the church, in the channels of administration, you find like the Merus occupy most of the positions. And when we are talking about development of the church, it has been totally biased. From the central aspect, the development has been biased to the Meru community. You find they occupy like almost all they are in all churches per se, basically. And I can say without doubt that the church could have been termed like a Meru community church, basically. And you will correct me, Reverend, where I'm wrong, maybe.
Go ahead, yes.
Thank you. Now, the Meru being majority, the development of the church has been concentrated, has concentrated on the Meru zone. So what I'm trying to see is the bias of development is to the Meru community. And to my thinking, like Akamba, one of the major communities now in Kenya, I'm trying to see how can we make Methodist Church fully a national church. That I think is one of the central questions we are trying to address here. How we can make the Methodist Church of Kenya have a national outlook, basically. And I'm trying to hear from John that they similarly have some challenges in their church as well. And I expect that is normal. That is normal in any gathering with any organization with the population that has different people with different opinions, from different backgrounds. So what we are trying to find solution for here is what can be done so that we can make Methodist Church have a national outlook as the first issue. Number two, when we talk about the distribution of the resources, it should follow suit that what we are doing to make the church have a national outlook, we should also come up with a formula to distribute the resources as well, so that the resources are not totally under control of maybe one person, but we can make it region-wise, develop region-wise, including everyone in this aspect, right?
Yeah.
And now the third aspect is the one, Reverend, you've brought about I think you are talking about the LGBTQ, the lesbians, the bisexuals, the transgenders, and the queer community. Was it the one you are referring to when you're talking about people with different sexual orientation? Kindly, Reverend Kitonga.
I think he might be frozen, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was talking about.
That's what, okay. So okay, this now remains a broad question that is very, very open. And for the church now at this level, I think we can come up with a policy maybe that can guide us on what we are supposed to do with the LGBTQ community, because they are amongst us.
Yeah.
But do they have rights? Those are some of the, in the moral aspect, what is supposed to be done can come now as a policy on our church. What is our stand towards this community, and how she should be treated in a situation maybe where they want to be part of us?
If I can have Mr. Lucas.
Thank you.
You see, this problem, the problem of sexuality, as I would want to call it, is not very pronounced in our area. We have a really pronounced problem. The problem is much pronounced in
the Western world, maybe?
Yeah, in the Western world where our brothers are. But the only point the aid I'm giving is that it might become a divisive factor soon, because
sure.
you've started seeing people now drawing lines.
That's
But
true.
maybe what we can the time it will come, we'll discuss it.
That's true. I think so.
Because the point is, here we should be talking about the issues which would affect our mission, our commitment.
Exactly. Yeah, the point
But
is
now what I see very clear affecting our commission, as I was telling John the other time, I was saying that, like, if you want a letter from a church leader, from the authority of the church, you can't get it because of the difference which is there. People have gone to the court and the government has intervened and has told people, we don't want to see anybody in the office. Now, if they are meeting privately, not in the office, John.
that's true. That's true.
If the Bishop of Kenya, the presiding bishop, is getting to the office for any official thing, he has to do it secretly, because they have a caution by the government until they sit down and they reconcile.
That's true.
Now that now becomes a huge problem to the members who are needing guidance when it comes to worship, needing guidance when it comes to mission, needing guidance when it comes to evangelism, needing guidance when it comes to pastoral ministry. Now we are in a chaotic situation.
Yes.
But the other problem, the other issue Lucas is talking about, I'm only saying that I'm seeing a possibility of it becoming another divisive factor.
All right.
Yeah, so guided by the obstacles or the challenges which we are facing, this time now we want now to come together and reach people. The ones we have, we take care of the people we have already, and we also move, reach others who have not been reached, those who have not been witnessed in a Wesleyan way, and many other ways, because we have opened our mission. We have a brother from Anglican Church, and we are opening, because the key thing is about reaching out, touching, embracing, sharing the love of Christ.
That's good. So what I wanted to hear, Reverend Kitonga, I wanted to hear from John. What exactly are the challenges he's talking about that they are facing?
Mm-hmm.
And do we have anything to learn from their struggles so that we can apply them locally here? So John, if you can take over, tell us what are these challenges exactly that you are facing from your side,
Okay.
and how? Yes, exactly. Please come along.
So we are in the United States. The United Methodist Church is facing a split as well.
Okay.
Where the church here is splitting over the LGBTQ issue, and specifically, we have the Book of Discipline here.
Okay.
That they use to define how the church operates and what we believe. And there are a couple of segments in there that mention one that they say that LGBTQ lifestyle, or they say in the book homosexual lifestyle, is not conducive to Christian practice.
Okay.
And then there's the other one that says that LGBTQ members cannot be part of the clergy, and we can't perform same-sex marriages. So on those three issues, yes, I'm sorry, Fred. Okay.
I'm welcoming another gentleman.
Oh, okay. So on those three issues, the church is divided, and so I come from a region that is that the CalPAC. My conference is part of the more progressive, the part that wants to allow. They want to change that, and then there's the more conservative churches don't want to change it, and so now there's going to be a split. There'll be a global, probably will be a. We're still going through this because we have certain laws that say you can't leave the Methodist Church with your church unless you buy it out, or there's lots of complications, but there are some ways around it in church law. People are working through this, and so some churches are leaving to us from the Methodist Church, and probably will eventually join this new denomination.
That's true.
So similar to what Fred was saying, I think this argument distracts us from focus on the gospel, right? And and I don't wish to fight my little church. It's a small church. I don't wish to fight with the administration. My members are not interested in even tackling this issue. I think I don't know. We have some of. We're probably a somewhat moderate church on both. We have people that have opinions on both ends, but they don't express them. So this is a problem. This is what's going on here in the United States. I think the same spirit, though. It's different reasons, but there's the same spirit that's going through the church. The spirit of division, the spirit of fighting over issues that are not the central message of the gospel. And similar to what Fred said, I think we should welcome all people and let the Holy Spirit change their hearts, convict them, right? We just preach the gospel. We don't condemn people. God says, we don't, Jesus said, we don't judge you, not lest that ye be judged. So we don't, so it's a difficult situation here. And as the way I see it, I would like to focus more on, because it's not a problem at our particular church. I wish to continue go forward and focus on the gospel and not get involved in church politics.
I think that's good. Thank you, John.
Yeah. So I like to hear what you guys are doing. It seems like you are in the similar vein.
Sure.
Jesus calls us to. I think all of these things kind of drive us away from God's kingdom and more towards the kingdoms of this world, because it becomes a power thing, and in the church, we have these. It can become a political thing where more of the world gets pulled in, more politics of the nation gets pulled into this, and I think those things divide us. It becomes a practice that we use in politics in our general conference. If you've seen the last general conference of the United Methodist Church, which was in 2016, it was not a very, what was it, 2018? It was not a good process.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we'd like to, so my take on the whole thing is, I just want to do what I think the gospel leads us to do, and I don't want to wade into that issue as much. We don't talk about it. I've talked to my members about it, and they feel the same way. They don't want to bring up the issue. We have a lot of our members from our from Tonga, and they have a more conservative, traditional point of view.
That's good.
I think they feel the same way. So anyway, that's where we stand on the division issue, and from what you've explained, it's a little bit different from what's going on in your church, but there's also that's in the background to it, because it's kind of a worldwide thing, because it becomes something that becomes in our media. It becomes an issue because it's an issue in the world, and people bring it up in local areas, and it becomes a dividing factor in the church.
That's true. So I'm getting you clear by the way. And there's one more question I wanted you, John, to ask something.
Yes.
About this, the basic doctrine.
Yes.
The basic doctrine of the church. Does it in any way try to elaborate what is supposed to be done in such a situation?
Yeah. So the doctrine says that if a clergy member performs a same-sex marriage, or if a clergy member is from the LGBTQ identifies as lesbian, they have to be removed from.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's going on is actually within many of the churches in the United States is there's a they wished they're sort of rebelling against that last ruling. And most of the churches, I would say, in the United States, in a lot of the regions I mean, I wouldn't say most of the churches, but in a lot of the regions in the Northwest, Northeast, and in the Western region, they align with that. And then in the southern part of the country, so the Southeast, and also many churches in the global connection are more traditional. So there are more members because when they had their last conference, more members voted to maintain the traditional plan. And a lot of members were not going to abide by so a lot of the American churches in the Northeast and the West said, we're not going to abide in those jurisdictions, said we're not going to abide by those. So that's what's happening.
All right. I think the LGBTQ issue in our country basically is a secondary issue.
Yes.
Because basically, I don't know, we have teething problems in the administration aspect. We have even included the court. The court has been included in our church administration because not once or twice we found ourselves in the court system, dragging ourselves with the legal limbo. What we wanted exactly is how exactly can we make Methodist Church better in Kenya?
Yeah.
John, how do you think? What chances do we have to make Methodist work efficiently?
Well, I think that it seems like every revival movement is led by the Holy Spirit. Right? I think that what you do, if you are guided, I mean, if you look at the foundations of the Methodist movement, John Wesley, similar situation. He wanted to reform the Anglican Church in England.
That's true.
And he was guided by what the Holy Spirit told him. So he did all sorts of things that the church didn't do, like go out into the fields and preach people had never been in churches before. So I think what you are doing is what the church is called to do. And I think the church grows that. I think the churches that are growing are doing exactly that type of thing.
That's true.
It's difficult because we're dealing with within the church, we deal with a lot of within our there's restrictions, right? On it.
Yeah, I understand exactly.
You know what I mean? So
I understand you clearly.
We have a leadership, and the leadership might think a different way, like what's happening in your area, and
yes, right.
you have to go. You're going outside of your local administration to get support, which I think is a good thing. I think there are probably a lot of Methodists that are members of the church that are not part of, because there's a division between the church connection and the individual members of a church. What I've noticed is it shouldn't be this way. The members should feel connected to the greater church, but they don't. They don't, and that's because of the bureaucratic and the political things that go on within the connection, the higher, like within the conference.
That's true. I understand.
Our conference is located the headquarters is located in California,
right?
Pasadena. We are 2,500 miles away in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So we have a local district that's we have a district superintendent, and that district superintendent is also in charge of churches that are another 2,000, 3,000 miles away in Saipan and Guam and other islands, where the Methodist church is. So it's difficult for them to really touch all the different churches in their area. So we don't feel a connection to the churches. Even in Maui, we're only about 70 miles away from Honolulu, which is we rarely get a chance to interact with them, because especially with COVID, because we couldn't fly into Honolulu. So, and we use Zoom, but Zoom, as we know, is an imperfect way of communicating. We have to get together and break bread together and talk with among each other and get to know each other.
That's true.
And there's very few, even what we're doing here isn't done within our connection as much, you know, or it is, but it's like different groups are doing it. Not, it should be something led by, I think, bishop and municipal superintendents and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that it's just similar. We're going through similar situations, but more difficult in your area because you're trying to get funding.
I was a staffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was teaching the staffer. Now, let me ask you this question. Okay, myself, John, I'm running out of power. And I want to go look for more power, kindly. So I wanted to make these few comments. Is there a way in which your church, which is headquartered in California, Pasadena, is there a way in which we can, I don't know, partner, try to guide us on the basic doctrine of the church that was intended by John Wesley?
Lucas,
kindly, okay. Yes,
yeah,
please.
we will come to that. I just wanted we introduce some of us. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4 of us who have joined us. We
Yes.
can continue. You had a very great conversation, and it's good that first we introduce the rest, and then we continue, because really, John would. There are a lot of things you want to learn from us. Part of what you want to learn is exactly what you are asking. In the course of answering, in the course of asking, you answering, you will learn a lot. Let us first pause so that we don't use the rest. And I can see Samuel, Reverend Samuel. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you.
Now, are you okay? Can you speak to us? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
How would you want to greet us at a time like now and in a situation like this? You just want to say hello to us?
Is it good evening or good to? It's a good evening to us.
Well, to us is good evening or whatever.
But what about
to John is good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, to John is good morning.
And good evening.
Yeah, too. Yes.
So
I think you can hear me.
We can hear you, but we can't see you well.
Okay.
We are only seeing your head. I don't know whether we can see beyond that, but it's okay. It's not a must that we see the whole of you. As long as you can see the head and the eyes and your smile, it's okay.
So fine.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, Samuel?
Me, I'm doing good. I'm very grateful to join you this evening, this morning, to John.
Yes.
And I think partly I've heard what you have been talking about.
Yes.
Yes, but to me, maybe because I come from the other side of a community that is Anglican.
Yeah.
Maybe what I can say about our side.
Can you first tell us how you are doing in Garissa, and where is Garissa? Supposing now I am John in as far as where now? Let me think of where John might be. John is not in our here. John is in Greenland. Now, if I'm in Greenland and I want to know somewhere where he is exactly, and someone tells me that he is in Garissa, what is Garissa? Where is Garissa?
Itonga.
Yes.
Itonga, I wanted to intervene a little bit. I'm running out of power.
Yeah.
I wish to go look for more power. So I wish in the next less than 30 minutes I'll be joining you again.
Please,
I want to a place where I have access. So as you deliberate more,
Yeah.
I may wish you make some notes somewhere so that when I'm back, maybe you can update so that we can pick it from there.
We are on recording.
Yeah, we're
Exactly.
I'll send a
wish
recording.
Yeah, John will send also yes info.
I'll post it on
All right.
YouTube so you can watch it on YouTube.
But, okay.
Yeah.
Please, I will. Please.
Okay.
Thank you so much, John.
Sure,
A
thank
pleasure
you.
meeting you.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting
All
you.
right.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. So back to you, Samuel. John may want to know what is Garissa, where's Garissa, what you're doing. He has heard something that you are in Garissa with the Anglican as part of the Anglican group. But just take us a little bit deep.
Yeah, thank you. So Garissa is northeastern of Kenya, and we are doing our mission with the Anglican Church.
Yeah.
And from the Garissa to the place where I am, about around 200 kilometers.
Yeah, from
the
Garissa to
Garissa
where?
County Center. That is the Garissa County headquarters.
Correct.
That's where we are doing the mission. With
Yeah.
the parish, and we are doing well.
Which diocese do you belong?
I belong to Garissa Diocese.
How many dioceses do we
SCK.
have? How many dioceses do we have in the Anglican Church in Kenya? How many dioceses? You can remember?
We are almost about 40.
40 dioceses.
We are about almost 40 dioceses.
Yeah, and you are in one of the 40 dioceses called Garissa Diocese.
Yes.
Great.
That is Garissa Diocese.
Mm-hmm.
And we broke from the Oceans. That just the other day we were made to be a Garissa Diocese.
Correct.
First we were Garissa mission area.
So before you were in Garissa mission area, but you just the other day became a diocese.
Yeah, the other time we were to become the diocese.
Okay.
Yeah.
So continue.
Sorry.
Continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yeah, and I'm serving at Modegashe Parish.
Modegashe.
That's Modegashe. And where the mission we are still undertaking with many risks. Because where we are, especially the northeastern, is mostly it's a Islamic region, whereby the Christianity is not that welcomed.
Yeah.
And we are doing it by the grace of God.
Great.
We are trying our level best.
Yeah.
And we are trying to reach the people. Especially we are serving those who come on this side as we prepare ourselves to go to interior.
Yeah.
That we can reach many, and especially to initiate a project that can assist the locals down there. And that's what we are doing. And that's why, though we have the spirit, but in some extent we are limited by the resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's only we are looking to see whether we can convince the people who we are with there at the stations that they can support some projects that we are planning to put up, but due to the limitations, it's like we are not reaching our goal. And that's one of the challenges. Maybe we we can look for other partners to stand with us. And again, as you know, in such a situation also, it needs somebody also to be of the same capacity. So we need also to upkeep our skills in administration, and especially to the approach that we can employ to reach the many that we intend to reach. So to some extent, we find ourselves being limited to what we have. And that's why maybe we can plead also with the partners, if they can be willing to support those who are willing to upgrade their skills and maybe their standard of having the capacity to expand the gospel, and especially to the level that we are in our century.
Thank
so
you.
We are facing some challenges.
Thank you.
And
thank
especially,
you.
Yes.
Thank you, Bruce. The rest will continue as John asks you some questions. You will be asking you questions to clarify, to get to understand clearly what you've said. So, John, that is Samuel Makao. He is a priest in Ngariza. The other time he told us that in Ngariza, emissions not only to the majority natives there are the Somalis, the Muslims. I think as you continue with the conversation, one of the challenges he may tell you frankly is the challenge they experience when they are reaching the Muslims and the Somalis. So you are welcome to ask Macau some questions.
Yes.
And before John, you continue, I want to welcome Mr. Wings Pembe. You are welcome. I can see Wings Pembe. He has another brother called Friend Chai. Friend Chai, I can see you behind Pembe.
Thank
welcome.
you.
And then John, we also have we have Bruce with us. He has managed to unmute his phone. Sorry. And we have another brother. I don't know. I saw as if it's Macau. And we have Sister Jane Girote, Reverend. I hope she's hearing. So we will be after you finish with Samuel. I will try to have a brief time introducing you to them, and then from there we open the conversation to all.
Okay.
So welcome, Reverend.
Thank you.
And sorry, Reverend, I'm also seeing another that person, a very important person called Mr. Samuel Jungu. I call him Chikande. He's our father, our patron. Thank you. Welcome, Chikande.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi. So
let us give time to Reverend John. He had a conversation with Samuel, and we are in that approach of one person introduces himself, and then John asks questions where he has not understood to clarify about what he has heard from us. Welcome, John.
Thank you. So Samuel, you're a member of the Anglican Church, is a priest of the Anglican Church. Yes.
Yes.
And I believe you said that your region is mostly Muslim. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, I guess how long has your church been there in your region? Is it fairly new, or has it been around for a while?
It is since 2010.
2010. Okay.
Since 2010 to up to date.
Okay. So how did you get connected to Frederick's and the ministry that and this ministry that he's working on? How did you guys get started?
Before I joined the Anglican, I used to serve with the Methodists.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So when I was young, he's the person who mentored me to get into the ministry.
Oh, see. Okay.
Yeah, that's back to 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and you said that you're reaching a lot of underserved areas in people in your area. How many members are in your church?
We are around 40.
40. Okay.
Yes, 40.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. And how is it? What are some of the challenges you're facing as you are in your area? I know you must be facing a lot of different challenges. You mentioned probably financial challenges, right? Are you getting support from the Anglican Church, or is it difficult to get support?
Yeah. So the challenge is the people, the members, my congregation, you'll find most of the time they work. Maybe those who work in those sites, when they work after 2 weeks' time, they will travel home.
Okay.
So they will spend another 2 weeks' time. You know that the number now will reduce, and also the income that maybe we may be expecting from the offering and the giving heights also will reduce. That's why I find myself in that challenge of finance. And again, you will find the people I'm fellowshipping with, mostly they will send their effort, their energy, especially to support the church where they come from. So you find maybe they are half at the church, but most of the efforts, they directed them to their home churches. That's where they come from.
Okay.
So you find the spirit of maybe embracing the mission work. It will not be that much of they will not send their energy more on reaching or supporting the project or any program that we may be putting ahead to initiate or to support it.
Mm-hmm.
So you find mostly now I will be relying from the office, but the office now it is not does not have that capacity to support the mission work, because now also the diocese is also relying from the parish also to get something from the parish.
Yeah.
That's why now you see now we will not give enough support to the diocese, so it can send it down again to accomplish the mission.
Mm-hmm.
That's the challenge maybe we are facing.
Now, do you have members that are converts to Christianity, or are they mostly Christian, traditionally Christian, or tell me a little bit about the members.
Sorry, come again.
Oh, so your membership, are they mostly Christian? Were they mostly Christian, traditionally Christian, or were they some people converts into Christianity? What is the membership?
Most of them, they are new converts.
New converts, okay.
Yeah, most of them they need some teachings. That's why you find them, they are not that supportive because they are newly converted.
Yeah.
To the Christianity, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. It's hard because they're getting used to. They're not used to. They're just getting used to learning about Christianity, and the idea of supporting the church is difficult when you first come into the church, right?
Yeah.
How do you must be doing some evangelism efforts to get people to convert? I mean, how do people end up coming to your church?
We just do visitations.
Visitations. Okay, so you just introduce.
Yeah, visitations through their members and to their friends. That's why how we do it.
So you go out into the community and introduce yourself.
Through the members.
Okay.
Yeah, through the members to their friends and their families.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get any pushback or difficulty with some of the other, like the religious group, Muslim religious groups in the area? Are there's like a concern about, you know, conversions and things like that?
Yeah, there are some challenges. Because you mostly find that my members, they have not developed there, so they only rent to the houses that belong to the Muslims. And when you go to visit your members, most of them, they will say, "Now we don't want Christianity here. We don't have to hear any prayer being made in our plots, in our residence." So there is that pushback. So they are not, they do not allow fellowship to be held in their plots, in their residence.
Okay.
So you find them now. We are comfortable when we converge to our church, to our worship place. That's where we can now be freely and interact freely. But when it comes to where people live, it is difficult because now even to sometimes it is risking. You can be having a fellowship, and people they will now bring disturbance until you have to stop the fellowship for your security purposes. Mm-hmm. So you do it in a manner that you cannot be that openly. So it's like you do it in a secret way that you'll not be publicly seen holding your fellowship with the member churches. That's the challenge we're having, especially when we are having that evangelism, maybe visiting our fellow members.
Okay, well, explain, what are some of your other outreach ministries that you might be working on in your church? Are there other outreach programs, you know, like maybe providing assistance to people, you know, in different ways, or how other ways are you reaching out to, or are reaching out to the community? I'm sure you must have your very busy with all the stuff you're doing as being a small church and not a lot of resources.
We only just encourage ourselves, like now, when one of our members maybe encounters any challenges, we team up with our member and we go do a visit to him or her. Yeah, that's how we do it.
Okay, so if you find out somebody needs help, then you go visit those people.
I cannot hear you. I can contribute.
Okay.
Sorry?
Hello.
Sorry, I have not heard you.
Hello.
Samuel, Mr. Macau, I'm going to get back to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Two people are in a conversation. Let us give them time. They finish, then I'll come back to you.
Thank you, and praise God.
Yeah. Okay, Reverend Samuel, you can continue.
Yeah. Yes. Can you repeat, John?
Oh yes, Samuel. So you were just explaining to me that you go visit people in your community, yes. And so you go. What do you? Are these people that? Who are the people that you're visiting in the community? How do you just to check up and see how they're doing, and explain to me what the visitations are like?
We just go and have a fellowship. We worship together. We pray together. We read the Word of God together. then maybe if we had planned something to live for the person, then we live for him or her, then we go on our way.
That's a great, we don't do enough of that here in the United States. I think if we did more of that, I think that would be, so that's a great thing that your ministry that you're doing. And I think it does, that personal relationship is what builds the church. So thank you so much for sharing that. So what do you see, like if our churches, like you get to know a little bit of our churches, how can we help? Financially we can help, but how can we maybe develop, in your mind, how do you see the relationship between churches like us and your church? What would be some of the things you need besides finances are a good thing, I think, and how would you distribute and use that?
Yes, for maybe like now, there are those members, when you look at their lifestyle, they also need the support, especially the children, those who need to be supported in education. That is one way we can also meet their need, to be supporting them in their education. Again, also we as because we have a school which is not doing well because of those challenges. When we can develop it, also it can also be a gateway to reach the locals down there. So we can also support the teachers who we can have a good that is the teachers who can be teaching their school, and because we are running of funds that we cannot be in a position to support a teacher, maybe through supporting a teacher, that one will encourage the community. And also, if we can also develop a program that of people who are not able to have something to put on their stomach, especially at these challenging times. That one can also encourage the community to be sending their children to the school. That's one way that we can make a way to reach the locals down there.
Perfect, thank you. So you have a school then at your church?
Yeah, we have that, but it's not doing good, because now, before I was just sent there, we had a enrollment of about 27 people. Now, because of the challenges that we are encountering, now the enrollment has gone down up to 14 pupils. And also we're having also a challenge of that population that cannot support a teacher. That's one challenge we're having. So that's a problem that we can also, if we can be supported, we can help the community to have trust with us.
I think that is something that many members of my church would be interested in knowing about and supporting. I think if we that's working with children, schools, we do something every year through a great big organization, the Operation Christmas Child, where we packs boxes and send things out to people all over the world. And that's a big organization. It's kind of faceless, and I think people would like to know if working with individually, how is your particular school doing? How can we support your school? I think people can feel a connection, a tangible tangible results in the help that they're and building that relationship. So I thank you for sharing that, because I think that's an important thing to consider, and maybe identifying the needs of all your different ministries. And I was sharing, there's another church on the island that might be interested in a colleague of mine that I could talk to her about this, and she might be interested in being part of this too. So it helps to know more about how our help can help you. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So thank you, Samuel. I think it was a wonderful conversation, very good talk. John, I have two things. I may see the need of adding. Samuel has talked about them, but yes, you have asked him how he does the evangelism, and he has told you that they visit families, and also through friends, and maybe perhaps he has not told you why they do like that. Why they don't encourage like public we call them crusades, public kind of approach. One of the reasons is because as he has told you, they are missioning amongst the Somalis, the Muslims. And the only working strategy is to go to reach people by friends and by families without making much noise to the public.
Yes.
To avoid tension or conflict.
Yes.
Then the other thing, he has also mentioned something like, and I think that is one of the main challenges. He might have not stressed on it, but that is one of the main challenges, because even the families, there are some who do not allow them. They kind of try to push them back. But they have, with prayer and wisdom and strategy, those are very much central, needed in reaching people in that area. There is something else he has mentioned about school and challenges. That area, I don't know how I can liken it with, but it's a mission area, and what makes it a bit strange is they are missioning to people of different faith who are not mainly Christian.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes the mission there difficult, and being one of the main challenge, and then the other one being it's a new diocese, and Samuel himself is not within the diocese region, is sent interiorly to a place called Mondakashe. When you are looking at the map, you can see Garissa is after Garissa, you go towards the boundary of Ethiopia and Kenya to another a county called Wajir. There is the northern part, the most northern part of Kenya. And all those areas are by Somalis. Yeah. So one thing I may want to tell you is that we've been with Samuel. I've been with Samuel for long. It has been a long journey. I was his pastor when he was young. Sunday school teacher in their home area. Their parents being my members. And then years later, I found myself serving with the Melodies. And because I had seen something in him, I called him, and he joined me in a place called Mwingi, which is not far from Garissa. So he joined me, and I really wanted him to join the Melodies. So we were reaching out, evangelizing with him, at the same time introducing him to the Melodies. But the Melodies delayed, so he was seen by the Anglicans, and the Anglicans picked him. but he has been clinging. So this time when we met together and we asked now how can we come together and create a stronger impact through our unity. So he was quick to come, and one thing we were, this is one place we were thinking of reaching, having an awareness, that is a seminar. We wanted to reach people because I understand knowledge, awareness would help people a lot. And then besides the awareness, so one activity I've seen and we've talked with is awareness through seminars and workshops. Then the other thing is looking at the people and their needs, and then picking one project, because you can't handle all the needs at the same time. Picking just one need and coming up with a project that will respond to that need. And he has mentioned about the school. He might have not told you, being the pastor there, he's forced also to teach there. He teaches some of the students there because teachers are not enough. And those who are there, some of them are not willing to serve for a penny or something dime. So that is what I can say about Samuel, but there is something more which is very important. Samuel is one of the two students I submitted their names to you because I encouraged him to go to school. I saw what someone can do if he gets the exposure of education. So Samuel and Bruce, another brother who is still with us, I don't know whether he has left. They are in a university, and they are the ones that I was pushing to see whether they can just finish well, because they did their diploma certificate well. They did their certificate and diploma theological program well. So, and they chose to proceed on. They were enrolled in the universities, and they are going. They are continuing, but they are having hard time because they don't get support.
Yeah.
They don't get support.
Okay.
That is what I can. What for now I can say about Samuel, but if we have time, we'll talk something else. But let me try to introduce to you. I'm just going by the way they've joined the forum. Bruce was the first person to be in the forum, and I don't know whether he's connected. Bruce, are you hearing me? Bruce, please, Bruce. Okay. Then after Bruce is I'm going to call Jen Kirode. Jen? Reverend Jen? Reverend Jen seems not to be hearing, so then I'll go to the big team which is looking at me and they're ready, although they just joined the other time. Just let me go to Wings team. Wings has joined us as a team of Wings. Mr. Samuel Shingande and Mr. Fred Chai. So Mr. Wings, how are you? Mr. Wings, how are you? Hello, Mr. Wings, are you hearing me? Okay, I will jump them, then we go to, by the way, am I communicating, John?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay,
so let me go to this other person. There is a person with the Techno N85. I think this might be Macau.
Good evening and praise God. Yeah?
Amen, Reverend Macau. You are welcome. We are welcome, Reverend Macau. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, Frederick. I had a problem with
try to make yourself a bit visible,
I'm not sure I have sufficient light, but I had a lot of problem with my gadget. So I am Reverend Peter Macau.
Okay.
I'm operating from Nairobi.
Nairobi.
Operating
You're connecting from Nairobi.
From Nairobi, I have been the ministry with the Methodist Church for many years. Our friend and a partner about 15 years, but the challenges you have been discussing. We have a pressure of being the minority. I am second to Frederick to Aaron in ordination. I was ordained in 2009. So I have been moving left and right because of ethnic biases. I have not had good time to work and serve the Lord well because of that, those biases. So I out and started a small congregation in Nairobi, and that is where I'm operating from. We started in 2018. We are about 40 to 50 regular members.
Friends, if you are not talking, can you unmute yourself? I'm beginning with myself.
Hello.
Now, how do you say this?
Is there a problem?
I can hear you okay. I think there's other talk on the line, so we just want to make sure that we can hear you better.
Me?
Yeah, I can hear you okay, except that every once in a while there's some other talk, so I couldn't hear you as well. But
I am Reverend.
It's good now.
I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm Reverend Peter Macau. I was ordained by the Methodists, the second one to Aaron Kitonga, and I have been serving from many different parts of the country, but I've never settled because of ethnic biases. I serve in a church for about 10 months. I moved to another, and we have had problems until I had to start my personal congregation, which is also Methodist in Nairobi. We started in 2018 with Lucas, the gentleman who is speaking from Machakos, and we are now having a regular team of about 40 to 50 members. Our problem is that we cannot break that ethnic barrier because 95 to 96% of the leadership in the Methodist Church is from Meru, one ethnic tribe, owning everything, owning every authority, and we have not been able even to break out and let the world know that we have problems. So I thank Aaron for introducing us to you, and we welcome you to Nairobi. We welcome you to Nairobi.
Thank you. So you said that there's a problem. So the Maru or the group is sort of controlling a lot of. It's difficult. Is it difficult to connect to other groups, other tribal groups outside of that? Is it how is that causing you difficulty?
I'm not getting you clearly.
Oh, I was wondering. Explain some of the difficulty that's being caused by the Meru group in your. How does that impact your ministry?
You know, we started with fear because we do not have our identity. We don't have a personal identity. We go looking for a registration as a different group from the Methodist Church. But the government of Kenya now has put an embargo on registering churches. So we have to look for a cover from another organization until the time we joined one of the functions of the Methodist Church. As you have heard, we have divided into about 4 groups. There are 4 presiding bishops now. So I hid behind one, and now I can serve from Nairobi, not from the mainstream church, but from one of the bishops who are broken away from the mainstream Methodist Church, and a bishop known as Ntombura, Reverend Ntombura.
Okay, so let me see if I can. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I just want to see if I understand correctly. So, the administration
I'm not getting you clearly.
is not supporting you, and you're working through another bishop.
Supporting you, and you're working for another bishop.
I get the support from the main church does not support us. We just get what we earn. We get from the Christians, the offertory, the tithes, and it is little because the economy in the country is so not good. We are doing very poorly economically in the country, noting that an election year. So people are, and we still have anger, we still have a drought, and so we don't have a lot in Kenya now to support in the ministry.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Am I clear?
Yes, I understand. Yes.
All right.
So Howard,
Yes, I understand. So
I'm hearing feedback of myself, so that's why
I'm hearing feedback myself. So that
Come again.
Come
again.
Talk a little bit more about your the different your ministries.
Your ministry.
The ministry is, I just say it will be Methodist because they are from the pressure of being a minority, and we want people who know who brought the Methodism to Kenya. We want the people that they know that Kenyan Methodist Church has been divided and cannot make it alone without your support. We cannot make it alone without letting the world know that we are serving. Am I clear?
Well, I'm sorry, a lot of that was cut off, but what I did pick up was that you really need support from other organizations.
Yeah, was that you really need support from other organizations.
Yes.
Yes.
And it is either in material or missionary. If you are strong enough, you can come, live in Nairobi, work with us. We are a wide field. We have a population of close to 10 million with only 10 churches, my brother. 10 churches serving our area, which is known as Lower Eastern, where we have about where we have about 3 counties and a population of about 10 million people, and 3 churches, while the other region, which is smaller, has over 1,000 churches, which is smaller, and has over 1,000 churches. And we do not get support from the bigger brothers to help ourselves, to help ourselves who are minority here to expand. In Nairobi, we have a representation of less than 1%. All the other bigger churches, the Anglicans are many, they're about over 3 million. Catholics are about 5 million. The Methodists, the mainstream Methodists, it's less than 100,000, meaning it's just a mere around 1%. So if you came to Nairobi, you can do mission work in Nairobi. You can do mission work in bigger towns like Machakos. You can do ministry bigger towns like Kitui. If we have missionaries, whether medical missionaries, education missionaries, at the same time doing the work of God, preaching the gospel, because the church is an agent of change, it's an agent of empowerment, and we really need that kind of a thing so that we can expand like our brothers. They have universities, we do not have. They have many schools, we do not have. So that is that's the challenge. I would like us to support, to join us and work together.
Thank you. That would be
Thank you.
I would love to do that. Well, I'll have to plan that as going down the line. I would love to come out and see your organization and
Karibu, welcome.
Yes, that would be
Welcome.
wonderful. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. So you're only as you were sharing, mostly your area is mostly you have a lot of Catholic churches in your area, and Anglican is a big presence there too. Is that correct? Uh-oh. I think we're getting disconnected.
We have all the challenges. We have education problems, slums carrying over 2 to 3 million people. who live under abject poverty in the city of Nairobi. The city you hear, but the central business district is quite okay, but the rest of Nairobi is in big problems.
Okay. So to explain some of your the outreach ministries you're doing with the little resources that you have.
I am personally training small groups for the last 1 year on irrigated agriculture. We have a small stream which runs from near my home, and we have been making temporary earth dams. We hold the water and train farmers to do irrigation, and if the water is not held, it just dries up after about a month. Like now, it had dried. We had some little rain the other day. We have water now. We shall now have to use sacks, stop the water, and it can go around the year if it's well preserved. But when the water comes in a bigger storm, it carries our dam and goes away. But we have plenty of land. We are trying to make an organization where we shall be training farmers for self-sufficiency, because we're just within the city of Nairobi. We have the market for agricultural crops, vegetables, like tomatoes, vegetables, all that kind of thing. We can make it, and we have close to about 1,000 acres, 3 acres, but only about 10 to 20 have been worked on. So if we got also farming missionaries, they can come. We have few cattle farmers. We have a few, up to 3, 4, 5 farmers who have done 1 or 2 acres, but we have plenty of water, which can do 100 to about 150 acres. And that is what I'm doing right now.
Wow.
With a few farmers, with a few members of the church. I take them for manual work. They get about how much? About $2 if I have money from the what I sell for work in the small farm. Okay. Maybe I can clarify on with some videos if I go around the river, show you not later than
yeah, that would be
tomorrow.
Yeah, if you want, we can send some of that late, like some video that shows, maybe email or something, or post it on somewhere. I would love to see that.
I'll do a video of the church, the center. I'll do a video of the group of Christians I work together with, and then I'll do the water course. A temporary river. I wanted to hand it over to the government, but now you cannot work with them because of the election campaigns up to next year, to this year, August. But we have a lot of challenges.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. It's exciting, all the work that you're doing, and what I'm trying to do now is get information to present to my church, and then also to other pastors in my area, and
thank you.
And so I think that would be very helpful to do that. I could put that on our YouTube page and website, and we can show just some of the things that you guys that all the different ministries are doing there. And yes. I think all of those things would be something that people, that people would love to see. So yes, that would be great. Thank you so much. And it'd be great it's great to develop partnerships with churches. I think we have a lot of. I'm sorry. Sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm very okay. I have also a network problem.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm getting you. We are grateful you have had an introduction. I'm not very good in a verbal communication. I do better on the pen. So, so we are doing. I'm doing a paper you can read and know, and then I enjoy some pictures, and then you will get us better and us better. But most of all, we want you to come and see with your own eyes, because we really want people come and see the difference, and then you can now look for missioners or people who can work together with us.
Wonderful. Okay, that would be great.
Through. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So much to the communication is the communication is making it difficult. It sounds like you have so many things to say. Like you said, if you want to send some information to the church, anybody that wants to send information,
Yeah.
anybody that wants to send information can do so by your thread. And then that would be helpful for me too, to explain a little bit more of your ministry. Because I'm getting a lot of what you're saying, but the communication, like you said, the network, there's delays and things like that.
Mr. Macau, Reverend.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a lot of noise that you are right in your background.
Yes. Mama.
But I hope Reverend John has heard you, has got a good percentage of your talk.
Yes.
I want to thank you for the time you've had with John and the talk you've had. At least John has a rough understanding of what Lucas was telling him. John, Macau is the one who started the church Lucas was talking about in Nairobi, which is near Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And again, we have Macau. Macau is also a Kamba. So he is a Kamba tribe. And we have him in our team. But I want now to John. We will continue. Macau will share with you some written materials about his church and also about the mission in the mission in general. But now there are friends who called them so that they introduce themselves. We could not get them. They had a problem in Mombasa. I'm hearing that Mombasa is raining heavily, and that is why we missed it, Mr. Chikande and his team. That is, I hope now they are hearing us. Chikande, are you hearing us? Chikande, are you hearing us? Chikande, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Oh,
you are not yet unmuted. Please, Chikande, I can see you are in the Y phone, Y6S. Unmute yourself. The phone is not yet unmuted. Okay, when Chikanda and his team, they are unmuting, John, I wanted to tell you that we had another reverend by the name Jen Kirote. Jen Kirote has written to me. She has told me she wants to unmute, but she's afraid that we might be interrupted by a loud noise of Muslims praying because she is just near a mosque.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
She has written something there.
The Mazin, yeah.
But
okay.
If Jane, you are hearing, and then there is no much noise, we want also to hear from you, Jane. It's like Chikande, they have trouble with their phone.
Hello.
Yes, Jane. Thank you, Jane. Welcome. You see, Jane, we've been talking. Amen.
Oh.
So how are you, Jane?
I'm fine. So I'm just near Moose.
Yeah, we are not hearing we are not hearing any noise, so you can continue. When we start hearing noise, we will tell you. So then, yes, Chikanda, thank you. You've managed it. Let us finish with the Jane Girote, and then we'll come back. We'll come to you.
All right.
So Jane, have you unmuted yourself?
Let us stand the talk.
Yeah, so we want to give you a chance to introduce yourself. And Jenny, go straight to the point after introducing yourself. Just to tell us three things, whatever comes in your heart. Just three things, and then others will be extended as John asks you questions. So one thing is your call, your ministry, how your ministry is going, how your calling is, how the status of your calling. Are you shaken by the challenges of the time to the point of giving up? And are you continuing with your ministry? One ministry I understand being the ministry of studying. Are you continuing your study, or you've stopped? And then the other ministry is the ministry of the church you are serving locally. So and then anything, the other thing is just anything else you may want to add, but in a brief way. Others you extend them as John asks you questions. Please, Jen, it's your time.
Brief, Jen.
Yeah, Chikanda, we are coming back to you. Let Jen finish first.
Right.
Please, Jen.
I'm saying yes, I'm fine.
Yeah, you are talking to us, but John want to hear your voice more than us.
I am doing fine.
Yeah. Can we see you?
I am sick. Yes, I can see you.
Well, we are only seeing something at the background, but you don't have light where you are in. We don't know whether you are black or you are blue, you are... Okay, proceed on.
I'm saying I'm doing fine.
Yes.
I'm saying I'm doing fine in school.
Yes.
Yes, I'm doing fine. I'm not given up. The ministry is doing fine. The church work is doing fine. School is doing fine. I've not given up. But still we have financial challenges.
Yeah.
Commuting to school, fees, that's the challenge.
Yeah. So when are you finishing your school?
Itakuja polepole.
Jen, when are you finishing your school?
Like 2 months to go.
Okay, 2 months?
Unmute.
We are listening, Jen. Jen, we are listening you.
I'm telling you, no problem. The finances is the problem.
Okay.
What are some of the other challenges you're facing besides finances?
Church work. So it's challenging when you want to do the medicine. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the last part, Jane. What did you say?
You said ministry work, the church work is very well. So we are of equipping work.
I think we're having communication difficulties. You're coming in and out. I can't hear all that you're saying. Fred, I think Fred dropped out. Is Fred still in? He probably dropped out too. Do you want to, could you try one more time? I'm sorry, I'm not getting a good connection, and I only hear parts, and I can't quite make out what you're saying.
John, sorry, my phone had already got out of airtime.
Oh, that's okay. I think I was having.
But I rescued it.
That's okay. I think I was having trouble hearing what Jane was saying too, because it was breaking in and out. I couldn't quite get the
I was also hearing the same. I don't know what is she has problem with the voice, with I don't know the connection, the phone. Jane, take your time. We will come back to you. Let us just jump to another group, and then we'll come back to you if there would be a time has gone. Mr. Chikande, please, can you introduce yourself and share with us? There are points you may want to share with John and us, and John may want to ask us, and especially is interested in understanding some things about Mombasa and Mombasa in relation to the people and to the church and to the mission we are about. Welcome, Mr. Chikande and the Wings and the friend Chai.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm Samuel Chikande in Mombasa. And in Mombasa, we are doing almost fine.
Yeah.
However, after COVID, most of the men were laid off.
Yeah.
So in our church, we have very few men fellowship members. Despite the challenges of membership, particularly for the men, who are the main contributors in terms of church development and even evangelism. And so apart from that, we have 1 or 2, 3 challenges. One is to support 1 or 2, 3 of our students. We have Mr. Fred Chai, I think is within the meeting. And we are really doing all what we can to support him. We also have the challenge of having a good church. As you can see, our church is iron sheet, the walling and even the roof. We are also having a large JCP or Sunday school, which is also coming up so well. And we also have the group of teens. So the main challenge is resources vis-a-vis the life in town. So most of the youth are not very much well occupied within the church activities. We are looking forward to having support from partners and even from within, so that we can bring up this young church into a very strong in faith and also in evangelism around Mombasa and its environments.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe any clarification?
Yes. How many members do you have in your church?
Sorry?
How many members are in your church?
Together with the children, we are about 115.
Okay.
Yes.
How long has your church been in operation?
In average of?
Yeah, how long?
Sorry?
How old is your church? How long have you been doing the ministry there?
It is 12 years.
12 years, okay, wow, great.
12 years. But earlier on, we used to be like a mission station.
Yeah.
And we used to have some support from mostly within. although at some point the major church MCK refused or maybe stopped from assisting us because we were so low in terms of numbers.
Okay.
But after some time, because the town is growing, so we were joined by some members. However, after COVID, most of the members were laid off, so most of them went back to the rural, but we are still struggling to ensure that the word of God is preached around here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of your growth came after the bigger church stopped supporting you. Is that true?
Sorry?
I said a lot of your growth seems to have happened after the church stopped supporting you.
Yeah, we did not stop.
Well,
What we did, we trained ourselves in handling most of the roles that the major church would do, like preaching.
Yes.
Like also supporting in terms of you devote much of what you have in support of the church.
Yes.
So that way we were able to construct this chapel, and we were happy to have a roof at least above us. And so today, at least we have an increase in numbers, as I've told you. And we're faced with new challenges now of managing the numbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Great. And explain, you said you've done some evangelism in the area. What are some of those programs like? What do you do visitations, or how does the evangelism work in your area, your outreach?
The activities we have are mostly, we have trainings to the teens.
Okay.
To handle urban life within a fairly poor setup. So this we do like music training within the church environment. We also do life skills, and we also try to promote them to liking to be servants within the church in many various ways, like they could preach, they could also be peer counselors amongst themselves in as far as faith is concerned and the normal life. And on the side of those who have chosen to be the shepherds, then we also come together and try to pull some resources, however little it may be, to support one or two of our members who have chosen to be serving God in terms of going to college, theological college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Support members going into ministry. Okay. How would you say the number of the people in your church, is it mostly younger, older, mixed? What is the mixture?
I would say this. We are like 12 men, really men with homes, and then we have a youth population of 25. We have like 35 women, and then the rest are children.
35 children. Okay. 35 women and the rest are children.
Yeah, we have a lot of women fellowship, women members. They have outnumbered us, the men.
Yes. It's like that in a lot of churches.
That's true.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow. So sounds like, yeah, I mean, you have been able to, despite the challenges you're facing from the central administration in the church, you are addressing and finding ways around those challenges at your church locally.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
Mr. Chikanda, one question John asked you. You try to respond. He asked you, so your church started growing when the main church stopped helping you.
Oh, yes.
But you try to,
correct.
you try to respond.
No, I didn't get it straight.
Yeah. So
yeah, actually it grew after the main church stopped supporting us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's very interesting because I think that's maybe that's a lot of things that are happening within the church is the main administrations might be failing, but the local church is finding ways around it if they still have the spirit with them. I think we face similar situations here. We're pretty self-sufficient here. We don't get a lot of support from our. We give a lot of money to the local administration, but we don't get a lot of support back, except maybe through my pension. I think is what is one way. Similar situation. So we're kind of on our own in that sense. But I think that. But the great thing about this is that here churches helping each other out, I think, is the way the way we can continue to grow from a grassroots level as opposed from a top-down level, which is what the churches had become. Not just our denomination, but other denominations too. I think the Pentecostals are good at doing that, right? I have a So
John, you mentioned about bureaucracy.
Yes.
And how it can slow on our side or in our context, how it can slow evangelism and mission. And I think that is the case. But how is this truth is a big issue. Is a really a big issue.
Yeah.
So, John, one thing I may tell you, so that if you may have something, one thing I may want to tell you is before I come to the point which was in my mind, Chikande was speaking on behalf of two on behalf of two other members, and I want Mr. Chikande to introduce these two members. They are important to us. Just let us hear their voice. Who are they?
Thank you. One of them is Mr. Frederick Chai.
Yeah, where is he? Can you see his face?
A theological student. Here he is.
He's a theological student. Where, Friend Chai? Where do you study?
Okay, my name's Frederick Chai. I'm a student from BHI. This is Bishop Hannington in Mombasa.
Bishop Hannington Institute.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
Okay, I am born again, and my church is located at Shanzu in Mombasa. I am 10 years spiritually. And since I started ministering after I converted myself to the Christianity, that I started serving the children. So I'm serving the children even now, even though I'm in the study that I'm taking from Bishop Hannington.
Correct.
And I love teaching the children.
Yeah.
Okay, I now facing some challenges.
Yeah.
When I'm at school.
Yeah.
Due to the school fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these children you are ministering, you are teaching, are they the junior Sunday school?
Yeah, they're junior Sunday school plus the teens.
Plus the teens.
Yeah.
Great. So, and what about the main ministry?
What?
The main ministry. The
Yeah,
last time I was
love
with you.
I will love to be a minister when I complete my course. And also I would like to continue my learning.
Great. So John is going to ask you questions based on what he has heard from you. John, John, by the way, have we taken the time I scheduled is over? Would you mind to add us some more, or we can stop?
Yeah, we could go on a little bit longer if you'd like. Maybe stop in a little bit, but yeah, we get to keep going and get through everybody that you want to introduce.
Okay, okay. So you have an opportunity to know a little bit from Frederick Chai. Is one of the students I was teaching in BHI, and he is still there. He is still there with Njeni Kirote, the reverend who was speaking to us. So if you have a question to friend Chai, you can ask him. But I like his commitment and his resilient. He has faced a lot of challenges and a lot of oppositions. Being a young man who they want to know or to be guided in the way of the faith and the ministry, instead is like what he faced a lot of opposition and a lot of fight, and he was not scared, so he kept holding. I like that aspect in him so much.
Yes, I think that's anybody that decides to go to ministry these days, facing the challenges that we face, definitely have a call from God. So thank you. So yeah. How did you decide to become? When did you decide to become go and train and become a minister?
I think this is a call from me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, your call story. How did you?
When I started, the first day I came to church, yeah, then I realized there is something inside me. And as I continued, I find myself being introduced to be a Sunday school teacher. And then I went on until where I am now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as you're going through, you had to face a lot of challenges, as Frederick said. How did you get the? How do you feel God led you through those, and what have you learned from those challenges?
What?
You said that Frederick said that you face a lot of challenges. You face a lot of challenges in what you're going through. I'm sure probably getting the financial support and just all the different logistical challenges. How has God? How does this? How have you? What have you learned through this perseverance? Have you learned more about what your ministry calling is? I mean, have you as it helps you, I think, in understanding what God is leading you to do?
I hope the very important thing for me is to looking forward to what is the Bible and God is teaching me. That is why I'm struggling despite the challenges I'm facing.
Yes, yes. You find that through the challenges, you find the will to persevere, right? Through the Spirit, God helps you. Does it discourage? Do you ever get discouraged?
Friend Chai, you are being asked whether you experience any challenge beyond any challenge to the point of despairing.
Yes.
Chai, that is the question. Whether you encountered a challenge that perhaps almost meant you to despair.
No, I'm not despairing.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Well, you know, it's funny because sometimes we face challenges in the ministry, and it can be discouraging, right? And oftentimes God, in those moments, God renews us, gives us
Yeah.
extra, guides us and through it, even in those moments if we don't know the answer.
Yeah.
We turn to God through that time, and I think God speaks to us.
Mhm.
And gives us the encouragement and sometimes new ideas, new things to think about. And so I'm sure that, when I was going through seminary, I think I met Fred at Claremont when I started seminary. And
Yeah.
a lot has happened since then. And
Yeah.
I think,
That's true.
but I feel that God's affirmed, even with the setbacks that I've faced, I think God's affirmed the ministry through those setbacks.
That's true.
So thank you so much. I'll pray for you through your training. I'm so encouraged to hear all the wonderful things that you're doing, and so glad that you're connected to these wonderful people, these brothers and sisters in Christ that are helping you through this program. I think I've been encouraged by everything everybody has said, and just to see your faithful example despite the difficulties you face is really encouraging.
Thank you.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Friend Chai, do you have a word to say in
Yes.
response to the remarks?
What I can say, maybe we love the gospel to be spread.
Yes.
So if we can get assistance from them, that is Mr. John and whoever wishes to assist us, then we could go far. Yeah, we could go far.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, John, we have another person in the group of Mr. Samuel, and then after him, then we'll finish with the Mombasa team, and then see whether there's another person. So, Friend Chai, it's like I saw wings amongst you.
What?
Friend Chai.
Yes.
It's like I saw Mr. Wings amongst you.
Yeah. He's here.
So is he around? So
Yeah.
tell him to come in the light.
Okay.
We want to see his face. Mr. Wings, why are you hiding yourself?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi to you.
I'm good.
So you're good.
I had some internet challenges, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was told.
Hello?
And I was told that part of it is because of a heavy rain in Mombasa. Is it still raining?
Yeah.
Where you are, or is it raining elsewhere?
The rain is over.
The rain is over.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this second time round,
yes.
Maybe you never know. With the first time you had a talk with John, he did not have time to learn more about you. He learned about you as Mr. Wings, but perhaps he did not learn about your core and how you manage it, and whether your core dies and resurrects. And John doesn't know your ministry. I remember the other time I was telling him that you are our environmentist in our group. Something good to have, that is an ecologist. I do not know how that is going on, how you relate it with the ministry, with your calling, with the mission. And you decided to come and thought of us coming together to form a greater force. Can you just tell us, share with us so that John can learn something he has not learned from you? Don't tell him what he knows from you. Tell him what he doesn't know. And after that, just listen carefully because you ask questions. Welcome.
Okay. My names are Wings Pembe. I'm born again. I attend the same church as Chikande. So, in fact, I think he's shared with us almost everything concerning our church at Shanzu in Mombasa. In the church, a lay leader. I've held that position for over 15 years now. I've been a secretary of the church. I've been a treasurer. I've also been a leader in the fellowship, main fellowship. And now I'm the assistant chairperson in the development committee of the church. Yeah, so that's the position which I'm currently holding. What I want to see is a church which is growing, and as Chikande has told you,
please.
Sorry, the children or the children make a majority of the church members, over 70%, with youth, men and women making the balance of about 30%. But again, where we are situated in Shanzu, we find that there are so many people, especially men and women, who have not been evangelized. So it's my dream if one day we could be able to reach these people. And the only way we can reach these people is for us to have a very strong team of evangelists. And that is why, as the church, we started by making sure that some of our members are trained. That's why we have Frederick Chai as one of our members, who is now in the Bible school. We have some challenges, yes, but we want to see to it that Frederick Chai goes through his schooling so that when he graduates, it becomes an asset for the church. And it's not only Frederick Chai, but all those other ministers under JCCM. Because as a patron, again, we want to see to it that not only here in Majaoni, but even those other areas in the interior where Methodism has not yet reached, or people do not know what Methodist is. We want to make sure that that area is also reached with evangelized, so that as a Methodist family, we can boast of saying that we've reached, we've covered that area which has not been covered. Briefly, that is what I can say.
Great. So me, I'm not going to ask you a question, but I'm going to ask John to ask you questions to understand a bit, because he might have heard a lot which you have not spoken, so he may want to ask questions about it.
Hello.
Hello, John. John, you can unmute
Yeah.
John. John, and
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
I missed some of the part. I was having difficulty hearing, so I was changing my speaker here. Tell me a little bit about your role. You're working with Mr. Chikanda and his church, right? They're in together in the, okay. And what is your role in the church again, Wings?
Currently, the assistant chairperson of the development committee. But previously, I've held several positions. I've been the secretary of the church. I've been the treasurer of the church, and so many other positions.
Treasurer, okay. Treasurer.
Yes.
You said a lot of the members of the church are children, right?
A majority of them are children. They make about 7%.
Okay.
Yes.
So as a member of the development committee, what are some of the projects you're working on?
Currently, Okay, where I'm taking this meeting is the church hall, which is made of the walls iron sheet or mabati. The roof also is mabati, so it's like a temporary structure.
Reverend John, mabati is iron sheets.
What was that again? I'm sorry, Fred.
I'm saying, you're saying, where he is now is under the roof of the church, and this roof of the church is roofed by mabati.
Oh, it's
mabati is iron sheets.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, the roof is iron sheet. The walls also, the walling is iron sheet. So
Yes.
there is no permanent wall. So
So
this
you
is
need
like a temporary. So this is one of the projects which we want to embark on. We want to make sure that we construct a permanent structure.
Got it. Yes. Okay. I was wondering about that because I could see the iron sheets. I was wondering if that was your church. So you need a permanent structure, which is you're growing and you're in this.
Growing, so we need a permanent structure which can hold over like 600 or over 1,000.
Wow.
Over 1,000. Yeah.
$1,000?
1,000 members.
1,000 members. You want to grow to 1,000 members.
Yeah, over 1,000 because
he's talking of the capacity, Reverend John.
He wants, okay, so he wants a church with the capacity with 1,000.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. We my church has 75 members now, but we get a lot of visitors. So we get up to like maybe 100 to 125 or so. Sometimes 200 on Christmas and Easter. But
okay.
I like your vision. I should tell my church we want to grow to 1,000 people. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so that's definitely a great. Yeah, I mean you need a church structure.
Yeah, true.
So you're raising money for that right now? Is that what you're doing on your project?
Yeah, we are currently raising money for that purpose. We are digging very deep in our pockets as members. We have some collections, quarterly collections, so that maybe by end of this year we have like half of the columns are constructed.
Wow,
so that the church
nice.
can now, the building can now have a shape, can start shaping up.
Wow.
That's what we want to see by end of this year.
Very nice. Well, that's a great project, and it sounds like you're making good progress. So I'll definitely it'd be great to share that information that that the church is growing. You have visions of getting to 1,000 people. So that's that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now with the men being maybe 12 or 15 there, and we know that around here we have so many men who have not yet come to church. We know when we start the evangelist, the evangelist work, we are going to bring so many of them to the church with the help of our ministers, the ministers we are training. I'm sure the church is going to be big. The membership is going to grow.
How do you think you would reach how could you grow the ministry of men in your church? I think that's a question all churches are wondering right now. So kind of interesting. What are some of your ideas for bringing men back into the church?
Mr. Wepembe, John is asking the strategies which you have, which they might borrow from you, of reaching out men and having men just be in the church more than they are now. You've talked of 1,000. Now, what is the strategy of making 1,000 men to be in the church?
The strategy is very simple. We are going to use the children because that is where our strength lies. That's where our strength lies. Yeah, because through the children, then we are going to get their parents.
Yeah, that works.
Mr. Wings, when I was with you, you used to tell me that sometimes because men are very tough, when you prepare a good barbecue, at least once per week, just sharing barbecue can bring men, a lot of men in the church. You told me that. You used to tell me that.
Yeah, that's one of the strategies.
Yes.
We've been trying it, yes, but I was talking of our strength. Our strength is in the Sunday school. Though we are going to use so many other strategies, but the Sunday school is our strength. That's our strength.
Great.
We are of reaching all the villages around here through the children.
Great.
And in that way, then we'll be able to get their parents to church. And that is how now we are going to grow the church. So that's why I'm saying we very strong men who've gone to school, men who've gone to theological school, so that we can reach these villages, evangelize them, and then bring these people to church.
Right. So I think John is here listening. John, do you have another question directed to Mr. Wings?
No, I think that I like your ideas for reaching out to the men in your area, and I think that's something that a lot of churches all over have had difficulty doing in the past. Having programs specifically that might be of interest to men in ministry. It's usually the women's programs that are the strongest, and because women are better at just kind of keeping in touch and communicating with each other. Men like to do things together. I think one thing that helps is like they like to work. So projects together and have a barbecue at the end. I think that's a good idea.
True. True.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah,
thank you. So Mr. Wings and Reverend, we appreciate for very warm conversation you had.
But
Mr. Wings,
Mr. Kitonga,
yes,
Reverend Kitonga.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I want John to understand that you've been with us here for some time as our minister. And we've learned a lot from you. In fact, some of those things you've taught us is what we are now implementing as a church. So
John,
thank you, Mr. Kitonga.
Yeah, John, I was the pastor of Mr. Chikande, Mr. Pembe. I was serving in their Mombasa, in the heart of Mombasa, as their superintendent minister. Before the church started, the spirit started becoming very, very strong, and then there were things I could not take.
Well, you're busy. You're growing a bigger network, which I think is very important work. It's very good.
So the church you are seeing there, they want to convert it to a community church so that it houses our mission, our JCCM mission. They are the ones who came with who came up with that idea, and we are looking forward to having them as or having the Majaoni Church, which is the Chikanda's church, as our end quarter, because there is where the big dream was born. And we are there. We are part of those who are in the heart of the Mombasa Island, but we are there looking at what should be done in places which has not been reached. Places like Samburu and other places like, I wish you may know the geography of Kenya and the geography of the coastal region. places like Samburu, we are talking about Samburu and other places we call Mackinon on your way as you enter to Nairobi, and all the way to where I am in the what we call Nyika. So, and then the picture is big because I'm getting the connection. All the people you've been talking with are the people I'm drawing to the mission as members, and also people who would guide us in those places of interest. We have Samuel Macau in Garissa. He is very much interested in seeing our dream unfold and grow, because what is our vision is what he wishes to see, and what he wants to be the vision of the people he's serving. So we are trying to connect together, and then before I talk a lot, I just want to cut short by saying. The Mombasa team is very important to us. John?
True. Yes.
The Mombasa team is very important to us. It's important to the people in the Cumberland where I am, where Mr. Macau, Lucas, and I, we are in the Cumberland. We are within, it's like in the central, in the center, between Mombasa and Garissa. And then they are also important to our mission in Garissa, as they are important to the mission we have in Samburu. We want to come together, now we've come together, but we want to grow together as a unit, and unit characterized by 3 activities. One activity of creating awareness, reaching to people and teaching them. Then the other thing is reaching them, evangelizing them, and also reaching them and initiating viable development projects which support our mission. So, great. And then if we had time, if members do not delay in joining the forum, there are some questions I deliberately wanted to ask them as if I don't belong to them, because I just joined them. I spent a lot of years outside in the United States. And then I came and joined them. I found them in a huge program. And then sometimes I feel that I should step aside and ask them some questions. And I ask them these questions, wanting others who are with me to understand something. These people you are hearing them talk. They are in dilemma. They were talking about their local churches, but these local churches they are under the cover of the Methodist Church. But they want to move out and grow. They want to move out, reach people, touch them, embrace them, love them, bring them in the church. But it's like there is nobody to tell them that or to encourage them, no pastor, no what.
Right.
And what is there is the church is in fight. The leaders are just fighting each other, and they only want them when they are siding with them or queuing behind them to fight the other group. But there are people who feel like, no, we don't belong there. We were called, instead of fighting, to forgive and to love. So the question I wanted to ask you, Mr. Wings, I wanted to ask you and the Pembe in the course of responding, so that John may have a picture of Christian church, the church and the Christianity in Kenya, and in particular the Methodist Church, is now that talks are being all over in the press, everywhere, and I believe they are talks. This kind of talks have reached to our brothers and sisters in Europe and in America. That the leadership of the church has split into 3, and you the other time you were telling me that even you don't get services of Mchungaji. Reverend John Mchungaji is a pastor. local pastor or any pastor or pastors, ministers within a circuit. Now, how do you manage the local church there? Now, leave aside our own organization. Now, the local church there, which has a much connection with the Methodist Church when it comes to administration. I would want to hear you how you manage that, how you go around, how that affects your ministry, because now we want to move on. We want to reach places, and we are having members in the church together, you together, but supposing now forces turn against you and block your way. What are the challenges you face in the midst of in the context of whatever is happening in the church now? Maybe John will want to know that, to hear about that, because already I've shared with him that we are having a huge problem of church division, and the members, most of the members are kind of, some of them are frustrated, and others are lacking service or service. Tough question.
Yeah, Reverend, that is true. In fact, you've painted the correct picture. Actually, with the two functions, that is, there's the Coast Region Conference and the other conference. Let me call it the Nairobi or the National Conference. The infightings between the two have actually made us not get most of the services, because currently we consider ourselves to be under the Coast Region Conference. But again, even under Coast Region Conference, some of the services we should be getting from the pastor or from the reverend, we are not getting them. So now, as a church, not young, but let me call it as a young church, we have our own ways of overcoming those challenges. And I'm sure, if I can recall, Chikande has shared you with this, that before, or immediately after realizing that we are not getting these services from the main church, we started taking it upon ourselves in preaching, in Bible study, in doing most of the pastoral work by ourselves. And it is again through that now we've come to like have that belief that we can do it, we can manage things by ourselves. And that is why now we consider ourselves as a mission. We want to grow, we want to evangelize other people. The wrangles aside, we don't want to go that way. We want to make sure that we preach the true word of God to these people. We don't want to personalize anything here. We want to put our personal interest aside. We want to make sure that these people get what they should get. That is the word as contained in the Bible, as it is said, or it is written in the Bible.
Thank you, John. Mr. Wings, thank you so much. Mr. Reverend, I think you have heard John say, Reverend John.
Yes. Yes, sir.
We've taken a lot of your time.
Oh, that's okay.
We are going to wind now.
Okay. Before I go, let me say just a couple of things. I'll just kind of let you know where we stand. So, as a pastor of this church here in Lahaina, we're a fairly small church. We have 75, members that are here full time, but we have about 30 to 40 people that come through parts of the year from the mainland of the United States, and they're big supporters in our church. Some of them so my plan, my idea is that I can reach out to everybody in this group, not just, so it's probably about 100 or so people I have email addresses for, and share information of what I've learned from the ministry, and maybe provide a way for people to donate towards the ministry. And so that would be one area. I mentioned also we have some money in our missions fund that we've got allotted for the year that we'd like to contribute. And then I also would share the information here with some other pastors that I know here in Maui, and then some other people that I know that might be interested in helping out too, and spreading the word that way. But I want to thank you for all this. It's been very inspiring, because I think we face, in the United States, we face a different set of challenges. People have become cynical, people that have been raised in the Christian faith and have lost their faith, really, basically. And they're struggling to hold on to it. And I think what they need to know is, and I think too much of that is because of the way I think you're experiencing the problems we face here with your administration, right? Many of our churches are like that, and we've lost the way to reach out to people and actually preach the gospel to people.
Right.
So I believe that the way that we are going to, I believe that Jesus has, we have revival. We're called to revival. And where I see it is not within individual denominations, but among churches, right? Ecumenical, like you're working with Pastor Samuel, who's a Anglican.
An Anglican, right? Yeah.
And I work with a pastor here that does the Spanish ministry, and he's from the Pentecostal Holiness Church. But he's in. Yeah, we have some affinity. We have a lot of affinity in the way we see things, and they're very expressive, and so I see that the growth that can happen, and the connection that can happen will be something that we'll start off with what we can do, and then it'll grow. It'll develop. It'll grow together, and so we can be inspired by what you're doing, as I already am. And I think that would inspire many of our other members to see things differently, to look beyond the way they see church. It's not just coming to church on Sunday, which is great, but it's also getting involved in outreach to spread the gospel and make disciples. Go and spread the good news through what Brother Wings has said with going out and meeting with people. Inviting people in the community to come in and have barbecues and other events, and so we can be inspired. So I see this as a real partnership, and maybe we can help financially, and you can help us inspire us spiritually as well. So the first thing I will do is go to our missions, to our finance committee, and give what we have in missions to your program. And then also work to go to the people and communicate with them and find channels. And this will be a big part of our outreach ministry, as I listed on our website. I will put and I will mention this on Sundays and that sort of thing. So anyway, I just wanted to share where we're standing, and I think that. Together, I think we, I mean, you are already far along on growing this what God has put in you, and you need support, and this is where we can help, and we can also, a lot of the people that come to my churches are members of other churches.
Right.
On the mainland, so they could take this and take that to their church, and so on. And I could get growing this, and I have members of my church that are influential members of their church. In the mainland, and they have some of them are bigger churches. Many of them are bigger churches than we are, and maybe we can go that way. Maybe we could start a whole network of people to different churches to grow at this particular level. I think this is where people would like to see, instead of sending money to, to the, as you know, Fred, the United Methodist Missions group, and then having that go to other groups. It'd be nice to have a more personal connection to who we're working with.
Correct. I was much inspired by when I came. My family. I'm born in a Roman Catholic family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something happened that I became a Protestant.
Yes.
But now we have half of the family in the Roman Catholic. And when I look at what they are doing, sometimes they inspire me, because I see them in what they call in their own language. They call it unjamaa. There's something they call unjamaa. They just move to the community. They reach the community. They evangelize. They do good deeds. I mean, good deeds like initiating projects which you would meet not only the spiritual but also the physical needs of the people. And then I see people coming to church. One thing that made me think bigger was when I saw brothers and sisters from as far as Ireland, others from Britain, and of course America. They come and they join with the Africans, and you see them in the community reaching and doing wonders. And then I asked myself, these people are doing what Wesley was doing. And we are here as bearers, not only of Christ, but bearers of Christ in a Wesleyan way. Why are we just angels looking at them, transforming lives, and we are just looking at them? So I said, no. This is the time when I realized that for sure the church is in deep wrangles, in deep tension. And then I started now encouraging, reaching people who are reasoning or seeing the same way I was seeing. So John, these people you are seeing, my prayer is that we all come together as we've come and think together. In fact, envision together. We've envisioned, actually, we have things on the table, and work together to at least to develop something which can be called a change, something which can make a person learn, see the love of God. Here in Kenya, people do so many things, but these things don't make people see Christ. But I believe there is a way, as a unity of people, for Christians, we can do something which would touch others who even don't know Christ. And one of them is what the three things I've told you. When you are supporting, you will be supporting that. Like now, I was mainly anticipating that we all reach out and implement the activities which we had planned for the year. We have our awareness, we reach Samburu, we create a workshop there, we go to Garissa, and we come to Kitui here. But we have limitation, but even though we have this limitation, I'm seeing a friendship and partnership helping us to overcome this. So when your heart and your word are saying that we can partner, we can support each other, can see mission growing, actually you are touching our hearts. That is our prayer. And we want to maintain this connection, the local connection of churches, because these members will learn something. When we do something that reflects Christ, even the people we are with will see Christ, and they will start working hard, even the leadership. These are our goals. And I'm just telling you so that you know exactly when you are supporting, this is exactly what and sometimes even we want you to just visit us. and come to see
can.
where Mr. Pembe stays, where Wings stays, Mombasa, and where Frederick stays. Not only Nairobi, but you reach in Kitui. So, and this would encourage us more, because it's not about the support, but also about solidarity too.
Yes. Well, I told my wife about it, and she'd love to. She's all on board. She'd love to come. So I'd love to.
Yeah.
So we'll have to plan a trip. Yeah, for sure.
We are going to wind up. Unless Mr. Chikande, you could have said something I wanted you to say, but Mr. Wings have said. We are going now to wind up and release Mr. John, because he had other issues, and if we withdrawn, we could wait a lot. But you can, Mr. Chikande, you can say a word of thanks on our behalf.
Thank you.
And
yes.
Mr. John, before Mr. Chikande says a word of thanks, I want to appreciate for the time you've given yourself to us. I want also to appreciate for, it's not you, I know it's a family. Just if this word can reach the family, because there is a sacrifice, and it's like there's understanding, huge understanding by the family to have stayed this much, even though we should apologize for having extended longer.
That's
so,
okay.
I say thank you so much.
Okay.
And now I want to call upon Mr. Chikande to say thank you on our behalf.
Thank you.
Now, thank you, John.
Yes.
Please receive our heartfelt thanks and pass our regards to your church and congregation. And may the love of God be with us all. Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you so much. And we'll be praying for you as well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, everybody. This has been a great, it's renewed my spirit. So I've enjoyed this very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I will communicate to you. I'll meet with the team. We'll make the pamphlet, the document, and then I will send it to you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Fred.
you too. And pass
God
my
bless you, everyone.
greetings to the church.
Greetings to
Okay.
everybody in your community too. Thank you so much.
I will.
Alrighty. Okay.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Take care. Thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. Pembe, Mr. Chikande.
Yep.
When John is exiting, can we utilize this forum to talk a little bit